My mom took my boyfriend, so I might have slept with his dad, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. I didn't think I'd be back here this soon, but it's been one of the weirdest, messiest weeks of my life, and I can't stop thinking about it. I can't even tell this to my friends because they'd either judge me or tell everyone else. And I don't want this getting out in my town, so quick recap if you don't want to scroll to my last post. I was dating Alex for about 2 months. He was sweet, attentive, all the cliche stuff, remembered my favorite tea, would rub my shoulders when I was stressed, etc. I introduced him to my mom, who, for context, is gorgeous, dresses like she's still in her 30s, and loves being the center of attention. Long story short, over time I noticed them getting weird, too much eye contact, her accidentally wearing short skirts when he was around, him suddenly being less affectionate with me. It all ended with a party where she said she didn't feel well. Alex offered to drive her home, and they just didn't come back for hours. Okay, that's where we left off. So after that night, I didn't break up with Alex in some dramatic way. I just stopped replying right away, stopped asking to meet. I wasn't ready to scream at him or demand answers, because I was still in that frozen stage where your brain is just trying to process the betrayal, but I was angry, like deep in my stomach. Can't you sleep angry? A few days later, I was scrolling on Facebook and I ended up on Alex's mom's birthday photos, and that's when I saw him, his dad. Here's the thing, I had met his dad once before, super briefly, when Alex was picking me up and his dad was leaving for work. Tall, salt and pepper hair, strong jawline, that kind of subtle aftershave smell you notice for hours afterward. He said like 3 words to me that day, and I still remembered how grounded he felt anyway. In one of those Facebook photos, he was standing off to the side holding a drink, smiling at someone, and something in me just clicked. I can't explain it. Was it petty? 100%. Was it about revenge? Also 100%. I found his profile and sent a simple dim hey, long time no see, hope you're doing well. I almost deleted it right after because I felt insane, but then he replied in like 10 minutes. We had a little small talk. He asked how I was, mentioned that he'd heard things had been complicated between me and Alex. Then he said something like, we should catch up properly sometime, maybe over coffee. I sat on that message for a day. I thought about all the times I'd walked into the kitchen and seen my mom touching Alex's arm, all the times Alex had looked at her like she was the only person in the room, and suddenly the idea didn't feel so crazy anymore. So I said yes. We met at this little coffee shop downtown. I was so nervous I actually showed up 20 minutes early and just sat in my car with my music playing, trying to calm down when he walked in. I swear I felt every head turn toward him. He was wearing a dark blue button-up shirt with the sleeves rolled just enough to see his forearms, and he smiled when he saw me, really smiled, like he was actually happy I was there. We talked for over 2 hours. He asked about my work, my hobbies, even about my favorite places in town. He's one of those people who makes you feel like what you're saying actually matters. I noticed little things, the way he leaned in when I spoke, how his hand would graze mine when he passed me the sugar, how he'd laugh softly instead of loudly like Alex always did when we left. He offered to drive me home. I said yes in the car. It was quiet for a while, just the sound of the radio playing something old and soft. Then he pulled over near my place and looked at me for a second, not in a creepy way, but in a "are we really doing this?" kind of way. I'm not going into explicit detail because Reddit doesn't need it, but I will say this. I didn't go inside right away. We stayed in that car for a long time. The next morning, I woke up and the first thing I felt was this weird mix of guilt, satisfaction, and power, like I had taken something back that was stolen from me. Do I feel bad? Maybe a little, but then I remember the image of my mom in that tight black dress, walking out of the party with Alex and not coming back for hours, and I stopped feeling bad. His dad texted me yesterday, let's do that again sometime, and honestly I think I might.